Our story begins in the office of Professor Archimedes Jones, a retired military surgeon who has enjoyed a decade serving as a professor of medicine at the most distinguished university in London. The professor is dozing in a rare beam of afternoon sun when there is a knock at the door.
By the gods, what a dream! Come in!
Professor, sir, you have a telegram. Here, let me help you up.
Unhand me! I'm not as old as all that. What's this, a telegram?
Well, what does it say?
It clearly reads, "None of your business. Be off with you." Such impertinence.
Blam.
Let's see here. Oh, by the beard of Balder, it's from my cousin in the Americas. Dear cousin, stop. Uncle misplaced, stop. Make all haste for the 10 bells, stop. Misplaced? 10 bells? Unsavory. I would expect nothing less from my uncle. Haven't heard from him in years, and now he wishes to drag me into something unpleasant. Rubbish. Oh, what now? I told you to be off and...
Hello, cousin. Talking to yourself again.
J.T. Price. What in the name of Odin brings you to my humble office? I was under the impression you were in the Americas.
I wish it were under more pleasant circumstances, Professor. But my father seems to have been misplaced. You see you have my telegram. Quickly then, let's for the 10 bells.
Oh, why the rush? This is not the first time your father has gone off on some harebrained adventure.
This time seems different. I received a strange letter stating that I was to contact a list of people that were familiar with my father's work, and I dare say it somehow indebted into him. This mysterious letter said we were to meet at the 10 bells on this very day, and by the look of the sun's angle, not far from this very hour.
I suppose the simplest solution is to play along with my uncle's machinations. No rest for the weary. All right then, cousin, to the 10 bells.
Dr. Jones and J.T. Price find themselves in the 10 Bells, the lowest of all the low drinking establishments in London. In the dull glow of the pub's electro lamps, they quickly spot a rather motley group. A beautiful woman whose dress and bearing mark her as nobility. A rough-hewn man with long hair dressed in tanned leather and sporting a menacing-looking tomahawk and six-shooter, and a nervous-looking bespectacled youth in his late teens. The trio is gathered around a table in the back of the pub, all in heated discussion and all holding telegrams.
Here they are. I see we all arrived. My gratitude for answering the call. My father felt that you were the very people to contact if things turned odd. I suppose introductions are in order. My name is J.T. Price, and I have gathered you here today at the request of a currently unknown associate of my
Just
father's.
get to the skinny Price. What's happened to Uncle Finn now?
Yeah, where is he? What's going on?
What's going on here?
Yes, please, fill us in.
Shut your holes! Good. Carry on, Price.
Right. This distinguished gentleman standing next to me is Professor Archimedes Jones, veteran of the North African Wars, and the best surgeon on Terra, or Mars for that matter.
Oh, thank you, cousin.
Well, my turn, I guess. My name's Cody Byrne, and I know your father as he was acquainted with my employer, the Mr. Buffalo Bill. Who has retained me for the past few years as a shootist and a translator for his word tour. I hardly find it a coincidence that our tour just happened to be here in London for the Queen's Jubilee when I received this telegram.
Did I hear you address my uncle as uncle?
Most everyone I know does, Doc.
I guess I will go next. My name is Enoch. I barely knew your father, the man I know as uncle. In fact, I only met him once. He was in Kyoto and had a faulty pulse engine. It was mere chance that I happened to be the closest mechanic available. I hope that your father is okay, although I am surprised to find myself here.
Yeah, I cannot begin to express my gratitude for coming all this way.
That is what I find so curious. Much like Mr. Byrne.
Cody will do. My dad was Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Cody. I also happen to be in London for a work appointment on an intersolar vessel, but I am beginning to get the impression that my being in London also is not a coincidence.
I see that we have saved the best for last. I'm Lady Olivia Turner. I am in many ways more familiar with your father than any of you might care or are old enough to listen to. I will simply state that I am deeply indebted to Finn and will lend my influence and my rapier to this cause.
Very good. Now, moving forward.
Yeah, well, how do we...
Now,
Where is he now?
we'll
What
have,
is the
we'll have
meaning
plenty
of
of
this?
time for Q's and A's on the ship.
Ship.
Why, of course, cousin. I have taken it upon myself to hire a ship to transport us to Manitou Springs.
Manitou Springs sounds dreadful.
I have been to near Manitou Springs. Pretty country. Although, from what I've heard, it has an rather unpleasant reputation.
Also, Sir Phineas Jones's base of operations and last known sighting on Earth.
Do you believe your father is no longer on Earth?
My dear fellow, I don't know what to believe at the present. I am sure this situation will make more sense once we have seen his detective agency in person.
What? Uncle Finn fancies himself a detective now? What is next? An intersolar ship's captain?
Actually, I have already secured one of those, a Tabitha Merriweather, captain of the Dawnbringer.
Did you say the Dawnbringer?
I did, lad.
He is speechless, a malady that I rarely suffer from, and therefore am the most qualified to remedy. Boy, you don't mean to say that the Dawnbringer is the vessel you were hired on to maintain?
The very same.
I'm starting to get the feeling that the word coincidence, Latin for I'm just too dumb to see the whole picture.
Right.
All right, everyone, we are destined to disembark at the stroke of midnight. Please retire to your places of residence and prepare for the journey. We will reconvene at Wapping Docks no later than 11 p.m.
That's
Taste,
really
unfortunately.
Okay.
I'll have to stop and pick up a few things from home.
As our would-be detectives leave the Tin Bells, they fail to notice a dark figure watching them from the shadows of the alleyway. As they disperse, the strange figure flees deeper into the darkness, his motives as queer as they are sinister. Sometime later, we find our curious quintet arriving at the docks. The electro lamps barely penetrate the midnight fog. Before them, floating a few meters above the river, is the Dawnbringer, an intersolar ship whose strange beauty and cunning is only matched by her captain, Tabitha Merriweather, whom we will meet momentarily. As we near the ship, we can see Lady Turner barking orders to her newfound comrades.
You there, give us a hand with these cases.
Now, see here, Your Majesty. I don't mind lending a hand. But where I come from, we start with a please, and we finish with a thank you. And what gives with all this luggage? Are you trying to move to America?
I only ever bring the very basic necessities.
There are 3 steamer trunks here.
Like I said, only the essentials.
Now, let's try to behave ourselves.
High price! Off to a smooth start, I see.
Nothing some fresh air won't cure. Captain Merriweather, I am sure.
So, this is the Dawnbringer.
What an incredible ship. I have never seen its like.
Well now, who is this handsome devil with the obviously exquisite taste?
Captain Merriweather, allow me to introduce to you my cousin, Professor Archimedes Jones.
The pleasure is all mine.
Oh, I'm sure, but somehow I can see the pleasure being mutual given. Hold on a tick. What is all this then?
As our intrepid adventurers are boarding the ship, a platoon of persons emerge from the fog, brandishing swords and strange rifles, aglow with pulsing electrical energy. As they converge on the dock, a bizarre figure steps out of the fog and into the muted glow of the electro lamps. It is dressed in the finery of a noble, but its head is in all appearances that of a green sea urchin with no recognizable face.
So I see my old nemesis, Phineas Jones, has assembled a new team of fools! Kill them, my minions!
As the henchmen flood the dock, Lady Turner produces her rapier and moves to attack. Cody Byrne draws his pistol and begins firing at the grotesque leader. Pew, 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 pew.
Eat lead, Pinhead!
How droll.
You lot! Get on the ship! There are too many for a standard fight! Cannons! Fire at will!
Without warning, arcs of electric fire blast from the starboard deck of the Dawnbringer, scattering the small army and driving them back from the docks.
You may have won this round, Fortuitous 5, but this war is far from over. Come, my minions, run away!
The Dawnbringer's pulse engines burst into life and the ship rockets away from the docks. In moments, the ship and her passengers are soaring over the Atlantic.
I have to say, Professor, you keep strange company.
Be honest, Captain Merriweather, I haven't the slightest idea of what is going on. And please, call me Archimedes.
Not quite yet, Professor, and you may call me Captain Merriweather.
Our escape was most fortuitous.
Fitting, considering that pin-headed creature addressed us as the Fortuitous 5. What could it have meant?
I haven't the foggiest. I am sure we will find the answers in the Rocky Mountains. It does have a nice ring to it, though, the Fortuitous 5.
The Fortuitous 5 indeed. What has become of Phineas Jones? Who is the pin-headed perpetrator of peril? Will our intrepid adventurers find the answers to their questions in mysterious Manitou Springs? All this and more in next week's titillating tale of intrigue, The Fortuitous 5 and the Battle Above the Burrows.